Yo, John, anybody ever tell you look like the Persian Nick Wright? Like you're gonna give basketball takes, but also give me a nice price on my rugs.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got ice in my veins. I talk like a champion, like a champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I'm so cold-blooded. I fear nobody, I fear nobody. I walk like a champion.
Oh man, wait, all right. Switching gears again, but keeping it with the Kansas person, right?
Heard.
A thought just popped into my head regarding the MVP. So James Harden is going to be out for the next few games with a hamstring strain, right?
Yes.
And Joel Embiid missed about a month or so.
Yeah,
with an injury. So my question is basically like, how much should injuries play or shouldn't play into factoring who's an MVP? Like, and at what point do injuries,
bro?
This
is such a tough question, John. You tackle it first, bro.
No, it is.
No, it is. Well, yeah, go ahead.
How much games they miss? That's the first and foremost. Like we always talk about that anyway because we have to worry about qualifying for the award and stuff like that, and for certain stats and whatnot. So to me, it's how many games, how well does the team do without them? Those are like the two biggest things for me,
right?
Because if you're out for, let's say, 3 weeks, right? 2-3 weeks, depending on how many games you go in, you might have a lot of back-to-backs in that time. It varies. But if you're out for 2 to 3 weeks, your team only is playing, let's say, an average competitive level schedule. You know what I mean? And your team only loses 1 or 2 games. To me, this is always my argument where it's like Shaq and Charles talk about it of, is it the best player or is it the best player in the best team? How much the team is it? Is it an individual award? Because to me, like, you got team success as a part of it, but it's also why if that motherfucker's off the team, how well is the team going to do without him? That's really my thing. I think you got to be a top 5 seed. And my thing is, if you're not on the team, how well will the team do without you? So I think that if you're out for a long period of time and your team is still cooking, that goes into the organization. Your homie can win, executive of the year or whatever, coach of the year.
Right.
But if you miss a lot of time, I think you should be out of the MVP race. If everyone misses a lot of time, that's different.
And that's kind of what I'm happy you said that, because that's basically what my argument is that like this year is so unique because the people that you would think that it would be MVP outside of James Harden, who I personally feel like is the MVP, but he's about to miss time, But before that, I thought the clear front runner has been Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Because based on the way he was playing, the Sixers was the 1 seed at the time. I think they still are the 1 seed. Nope. The Nets are the 1 seed? Fuck them. But they were the 1 seed at the time. The team was playing really good basketball. Still kind of is, but not really as much. But, he was playing at a career level. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, also another MVP candidate, I felt like at the time. But then he got hurt, and the Lakers started losing some games, but they're still kind of afloat. But, you know what I'm saying? And now Harden, I'm saying like Harden is probably like not the most recent example. He's about to miss time or however long with his hamstring injury. And the reason why I say that James Harden should be the MVP is it's simple. He's been playing better basketball than everybody else. And without him, the Nets probably wouldn't be as good as they are. Like you look at where the Nets were at the time that him, KD, and Kyrie had started playing together. They were at what, Justin? They were a 6 or a 7 seed?
Yep. Like 2 games over 500.
Right. And it's with the help of James's triple doubles, his great assist numbers, and his overall efficiency is why I feel like, to me, he should be the MVP. But injuries definitely do unfortunately, it plays a role in it. But you know what I'm saying, like, as a caveat to what John is saying, it's like, all right, so like hypothetically, right? Can we say that LeBron isn't the MVP when they were probably the best team in the West, and then they lost mad games after the fact. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, damn, you remove that from the team, and what is really the conversation? Who's most valuable versus the best player on the team, on the best team? But this is such a unique year because I really do feel like I don't know who's gonna win MVP. Like this time last year, we was probably saying, this time last year we were in the middle of a pandemic, so we was probably talking about The Last Dance. But this time last year, without the pandemic, we was definitely saying it was Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 years ago, we were saying like by now it's Giannis, but at least by this point in the year, it's the best player on the best team. You know what I'm saying? But this year, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would say with the Lakers, I think LeBron lost a little bit of his MVP race, or at least his claim, when Anthony Davis went down and the team took a dip.
Yep.
Because then LeBron wasn't able to carry as much. They still, I think, won like maybe 1 or 2 games, but you could tell it wasn't the same Lakers team. He wasn't able to keep them as afloat, and then he goes down, and then everything bottoms out. Right. With Joel Embiid, I also thought he was the clear-cut favorite before he got hurt, and then the team actually was able to stay afloat. It's actually very impressive.
Sixers are built well.
I don't think it's talked enough about how the Sixers were able to stay atop the East with as long as Joel Embiid was out. And even Ben Simmons was out.
How to play basketball.
Ben Simmons was even out for a little bit too. But Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, all those guys, that team is, like John said, is built pretty well. I think now it's just going to come down between Dame and Jokic, just because of. I mean, I'd say
Luka, depending on where the Mavs finish.
I don't like.
We're not talking about Ted from Schitt's Creek, all right? I'd also have to say Giannis, just to throw him in as a dark horse 3. I mean,
the Bucks have been playing a lot better basketball.
Give me Donovan Mitchell over Giannis.
I see what, because he is the best player on the best team, but his numbers aren't.
Argument every year.
No, it is. No, it is. But I would say like Giannis's numbers are better,
significantly better. Yes.
And it's more, and Utah's success is more of a team-oriented success. Like if you took Donovan Mitchell off of the Jazz, they can still blow out a team by.
If you take Donovan Mitchell off the Jazz, they're a 1 seed?
No, they're not a 1 seed, but I'm saying the team could still stay afloat and still be competitive. They could.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I honestly think it's the same effect. I think if you take Donovan Mitchell off the Jazz, they're a bottom 3 seed. I think if you take Giannis off the
you take Giannis off the Bucks, they're lower than I think they're probably like 7 right now. I just don't trust. I just don't trust.
I just checked. I have it up right now.
Mm-hmm. You're saying if we were to take them off for the season or just during the games that they won?
No, my thing is the Bucks are in 3rd place right now.
Yes.
Yep. And I think the Bucks have a great fucking roster. And if you take Giannis off the Bucks, I still think I think it's basically to the same effect. I think they're a bottom 3 team in the East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing with Donovan Mitchell off the Jazz.
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't think they're bottom 3 in the West.
Not bottom. You saying bottom
3. Like you saying 6 through
bottom
8
3
or
seed.
Bottom
playoff.
Okay.
Bottom 3 playoff.
I'd say they would probably be a 4. I'd say they'd probably be within 4 in the 6 range if there was no Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
So without Donovan Mitchell, you think they're better than the Lakers and Portland?
Well, not the. Well, I mean. In a healthy league, probably not.
In a healthy,
okay. So then you think they're better than Phoenix or the Clippers or the Nuggets without Donovan Mitchell? Come on.
Now, you mean play
without Donovan Mitchell? They're not better than the Mavericks.
Nah, definitely not.
And the Mavericks are the 8th seed. So yeah.
I could see maybe. I don't know. It's very it's hard with the Jazz.
Listen, Giannis is out of the MVP conversation this season, and it should stay that way. Also, I looked up how many games do you think those top 3 guys have played?
Who? The top 3 guys?
So right now,
you're talking about like Jokic.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't do Jokic because he hasn't really been out that long with injury. So I did the people who have been out. So LeBron, Harden's about to go out, and Embiid.
Combined?
No. How many games do you think they played this season?
Harden's played over. I know Harden's played over 35.
Harden's played the most at 42.
Okay, yeah.
LeBron's played 41.
I'd say Embiid's at 30.
32.
All right.
That's a gap.
That is compared to like what Jokic and Dame at like probably near 50.
Exactly. And then my other thing is with that, how many games does Harden miss? Because I think I'm with you on Harden to me being like the MVP in that sense. And then now how many games will he miss? Because I think him having the most out of those players that have been hurt definitely goes into it. And then it's like, if there's 30 games left in the season, he misses half of those. How much does that hurt his stock?
It does. That's just the way that it works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's kind of like what I'm trying to say is that because injuries is playing such a critical role in everything this year, it is so hard. Like the MVP is not probably who we would have expected it to have been going into the season. Like
also Jokic hasn't been putting up the best numbers for a decent amount of time now.
You say he has not or has been?
He's been doing Jokic things, but the box score isn't reflecting it as much. So my thing is, if you're going to go based on how well just he's playing, they need to be a higher seed to continue that argument, in my opinion.
Well, see, I think the argument for Jokic, I think everybody has is because of his win share. I think it's his win share is so high, or so much so much. But
my thing is, you still got to be you still got to be a higher seed than that.
No, I think so. I think
especially if he continues this, like they're winning games, but it's 17 points, 14 points, 21 points, 16 points the last 4 games.
What's his overall average?
He's averaging 26 right now.
26 what?
Which is fine, but my thing is it depends on how you finish the season at this point for him.
What's the entire stat line? Like 26 when what?
26, 11, and I'll call it 8.5.
So it's basically like what I mean. So they're lesser numbers than than Harden, because Harden's basically what I'm pretty sure less.
Harden
points,
is 25, 8, and 11.
25, 8. So basically around the same, give or take.
Yeah, but that's just. But I think John said it maybe either last week or maybe even like or 2 weeks ago that like this what we've seen out of James Harden is not really like anything atypical from James Harden. Like this is literally like what we would expect out of James Harden, regardless. Maybe not 25, maybe like 30 something, because that's what he's been averaging the past few years. But he don't have to score that much when you have Joe Harris, Jeff Green, the best center in the league, Bruce Brown, freaking all these other niggas.
Kyrie when he feels like coming.
Yeah, shit. Kyrie had 40 something last night.
Yeah, 40. He had 40 on his dolo. James played last night, 4 games left within the first. Kyrie was like, all right, guess I got to do it to him.
Yep. He's all right.
All right, fine. I'll do it myself.
Right.
Nah, but that's the thing. Like
done right.
Well, like it was Miles was saying, like that's what James Harden is usually doing. But I would say that's the same outside of maybe 26 points a game. This is pretty much what Jokic does.
No, I agree. But my thing is like, if let's say he averages 22 points the rest of the season, they still win games. If they don't get to a top 3 seed, that hurts his MVP case.
So if that hurts their case, right? What could, I guess the only other person closest would be Dame, right? So what would Dame have to do to supplant, surpass?
Dame got to get to at least a 5
seed
seed.
Standings, right?
You got to get to at least a 5 seed.
What's Portland at right now? 6 or 7?
They're at 6. Denver's at 4, but they're only a game back from 4.
Oh well.
So basically, honestly, this race is coming down to who finishes, whose team finishes.
I literally think it's got to be, because of all the injuries, it's got to be top 5 seeding, and then from there you go to the to individual stats. Because my thing is, let's say, I doubt it'll happen, but let's say the Nuggets finish 3, Portland finishes 4 or 4 and 5, right? Dame, not only did they have to move further up the standings, he had to deal with way more injuries than the Nuggets had to deal with.
Yep.
So I think that's way more impressive to me. And he's going to be averaging a higher score in total. He's obviously not going to have the rebounds and shit, but for what he had to do to keep the team afloat, bringing it all the way up the standings, I think you might get a coach of the year for that, even though it's got to go to the Suns this year. They'll get exception. Anyway, to me that weighs more.
Tibbs.
Yeah, to me that weighs more.
I like what you said about the, earlier with the whole, you got to judge how a team plays, with that guy out. I think it's kind of a slippery slope too sometimes, because like, let's say a guy is out for 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
But they just happen to play a whole bunch of scrub teams. Like
that's what I said. That's why I put in an average level competitive schedule.
Yeah.
Right now, the Mavs schedule is not competitive. Like I said, I think a week or 2 ago, they have 7 only only 7 teams that they play were at 500 or above. So my thing is, does Luka have a case for MVP? Only if they finish top 5. That's it. And that's because we started out 9-13. So
true. Now I feel like this is always a possibility, but it never really happens because it's usually a clear-cut favorite for MVP and then everybody else to follow.
Yeah.
Is it possible this year that we see co-MVPs?
No.
I don't think we didn't get one for like Harden and shit.
I don't think we'll ever see it.
You don't think we'll ever see it? I feel like if we were to, this may be the closest year that we come to seeing it though, because you know how it's always like first place, second place, third place votes and shit. Like I feel this, like I don't know, bro. I don't feel like, even though I think Harden is the MVP, and I've been saying this since like before this became an ESPN conversation, I feel like now, I don't know. Like this is I'm here. Okay. I feel like now, like it's too close of a conversation between Jokic and all of the rest of these guys. You know what I'm saying? What if Embiid come back still hooping, you know what I'm saying, versus like the rest of these dudes? I don't know. It's tough. It becomes tough for me, but it is a highly unlikely, but I don't know. I think it'll be close in terms of whoever wins.
You know what I say? We scrap MVP and just award. Let's just award just first, second, and third teams. How about that? Scrap the award. There is no everybody just gets participation. Yeah, we're all lives mattering this thing.
Oh, we are. Oh, nice.
Oh boy,
nice. Can we get an honorable 4th team too?
Oh yeah. We'll add instead of in lieu of the MVP, we'll get an honorable 4th team.
Right.
We're gonna get a fucking honorable end of the bench team.
Nice. Yeah, buddy.
Look who was the best celebrations.
Right. Who's the best team?
Bench squad. Yes, exactly.
I'm nominated. I'm nominating Bruce Brown. That is my.
Chill. That award's going strictly to Theo Pinson every single year. The GOAT.
And Jared Dudley.
You know what I thought of though? Jokic's numbers actually probably will go down just because of he's going to have a lot less to do with the. I don't know how much of the Nuggets you've seen now with Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon's going to play a significant role in that offense, and that's a lot less that Jokic is going to have to do at least scoring wise. So.
Yeah, that's why I expect. I mean, his assist numbers are pretty crazy already, but I feel like that's going to be the most consistent. If something might have an increase, but I think his scoring is going to go down. And same thing with Harden's scoring. We knew Harden's scoring was going to go down, especially now that he's actually able to play the point again. Yep. But
still incredibly productive despite of that.
Absolutely.
That's the craziest part. Yeah, I know it's irrelevant, but I'm just throwing a sidebar in there.
Bro, the fact that they could have 3 people average 50, 40, and 90 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like that's just insane.
That's my thing. Like, I think it's funny that we're not talking about any MVPs from the Suns, but I think that's more of a team thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
and also the individual numbers aren't jumping out as crazy.
Once again, bro.
That's the same. That's where it goes down to like with the Jazz. Like that's why I don't consider. That's why I just don't have Mitchell high up on my list because it's just like it's very team oriented.
My thing is that to me the Jazz have been more dominant as a team. I know the records are similar, but for all the stretches that they've gone on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, it's very impressive. I mean, like multiple 10, like 8+, 9+ game winning streaks.
Yeah, we just stopped them.
Congratulations.
With 2 starters, without Porzingis and 2 starters scoring 0 points.
We beat them by 34 without Harden or KD. Congratulations.
All 3 of our teams beat the Jazz this
is true.
This is true.
Is this your king NBA?
Saratobi Sports says otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. We was down in the 4th quarter against them, and we came back with Austin Rivers. That's all I gotta say on that, though. Yeah. This is when we thought
Austin Rivers.
this is when Austin Rivers was a Knick for 2 games. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, it's really crazy. It feels like it's been a long season, but not a long season. This nigga was really the best player for a little bit.
He was for 2 weeks. Then he got hurt, and that was it. The association is so crazy. Not even association, but just professional sports. Like you really could be here today and going the fuck tomorrow. Like anything can happen.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. A little bit different. We will be back in the studio next week. And yeah, follow us at Saratobi Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Go like us on Facebook. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Offended Normal. Guys.
Gang. Yes, sir. Y'all already know. Worldwide West in the building. Y'all can follow me on IG, Worldwide West _11. All that good stuff.
Bully him to get back on Twitter.
Yeah, man. I'm fully vaccinated now. So y'all already know outside, I'm coming for you.
Oh, I'm getting vaccinated on Thursday.
Congratulations. Hell yeah. And the stadium, I'm coming for you tomorrow. Let's go fucking Yankees. Garrett Cole got 8 strikeouts through 4 right now. He killing niggas. Killing niggas.
Hey,
Black
love
Lives
to see
Matter.
it.
It's wild how you said Garrett Cole is killing niggas and said Black Lives Matter in the very next sentence. That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, we really, really needed the soundboard this episode.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But you know, you can follow me. You can follow me on the Twitters, J_Thomas_24. That's all I got. Nina Toads are people too.
We will catch y'all next week.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got ice in my veins. I talk like a champion, like a champion. I'm so cold.